What's up, everyone? Welcome back to episode 3 of Landscape Marketing Mastery. My name is Leo, and I'm going to be teaching you how you can build your landscaping business to the next level with digital marketing tactics. So this is episode 3. If you haven't seen episodes 1 and 2, those are super important, especially for today, which is when we're really going to dive into the meat and potatoes of this course, which is Google Ads. So as discussed today, we're going to be going over Google Ads for landscapers, which is a way that you can show up at the top of your local search results and land more clients. A little bit about me. I developed the client surge workflow after working in the office of a landscaping and tree service company doing their marketing. And based off that experience, I founded New Hope Creative, which is a digital marketing agency that helps other landscaping and home service businesses achieve those same tremendous results using the client surge workflow. So let's dive in. What are Google Ads? Good question. Google Ads is a platform where businesses pay to have their website ranked at the top of the search results page. Everyone knows the search results page. This is it on the right. And here's an example of a Google ad. Someone searched up fitness coach, and this number one search result right here, it says ad at the top, as you can see. That is a Google ad. Someone is paying to have that show up at the top. Now, one thing that's cool about Google Ads is they are pay-per-click, otherwise known as PPC. Now, what that means is you're not paying for people to see your ads. You're actually only paying when someone clicks on them. So pretty cool, not like other traditional marketing techniques where you're paying for everyone to see your ad. You're actually only paying when someone interacts with it. So Google lets you run ads on many platforms. You can actually run YouTube ads, those little videos at the start that you can see skip ad. Those are YouTube ads, and you can run those through the platform that I'm going to be showing you today. You can also run ads on the display network, which is any website that allows Google to show ads on their website. You can put ads there as well. Now, today we're going to be just covering search ads. Now, search ads are going to be the most effective off the bat for your brand. If you get to the point where you can offer a huge budget monthly, then maybe you want to go into YouTube and the display network. But for right now, just starting out, you'll be able to see the most results using search ads. So the reason I'm showing you this, and this might be more of an in-depth video, is because Google Ads is actually much more complex than you might assume. So essentially, you need to have a really good understanding of how the platform works to actually have a successful campaign. It's not plug and play. It's not just, hey, run my ads and it'll, bring in tons of leads. You got to know what you're doing. And so I'm here today to show you how you can run your Google Ads campaigns most effectively and get that success that you want. So how can you utilize Google Ads? Google Ads, like I said, allows you to target local customers who are actively searching for landscaping services. So Google Ads is an intent-based marketing platform. Now, what intent-based means is that it's showing ads to people who are showing intention to purchase. The difference here is it's not an interest-based platform. Facebook ads, which I'll cover in the next episode, is an interest-based platform. You're targeting people based off what they're interested in, not what they're showing an intention to purchase. So Google Ads allow you to target those local customers, like I said, who are actively searching for landscaping services. Being visible on Google drives more traffic to your website and ultimately increases your client base if you can convert those prospects. Yes, Google Ads does cost money, but it does have the potential for huge results really pretty quickly, and it spreads brand awareness and adds a whole new level of professionalism to your brand. If someone sees that you're running Google Ads, they're going to know that you have a marketing department and that you're taking this seriously and that they can take you seriously. So step 1 is to set up your Google Ads account. So you're going to go to ads.google.com, and I'm going to run you through this whole thing in just a moment. You're going to click Start Now. You're going to finish your account setup. One cool thing that Google does is once you've spent $500 on the platform, Google will actually give you $500 for free to advertise, and then it's up to you. So hopping over to the Google Ads platform, ads.google.com, what you're going to do is you're going to click Start Now in the top right corner. I already have an account, so I'm just going to click New Google Ads Account, create new account. So what do we want to call it? I'm going to call it lawn care example for the sake of this video. Next. If you have a Google My Business profile, which I really highly recommend, it's how people can leave you reviews that are super visible online. You can do that. For now, I'm just going to use my website. So what's going to happen is it'll show you your homepage and what it looks like when someone visits your website from a Google ad. So as long as that's fine, click Next. Now, what's your main advertising goal? You want leads. Landscaping is a service-based company. What that means is people aren't going to purchase on the first touch. They can't walk out of the store with an item. You want leads. You want people to hit you up and say, hey, I'm interested in this service. Could you tell me more about it? And then you start the conversation, you close the sale. So based on this, get more website sales or leads. Google may ask you if you have Google Tag Manager or Google Analytics. This is something I'm going to be covering in a different playlist on my channel. For right now, you can click skip. It's something that you will want to set up in the future. Now, I don't recommend setting up your initial campaign in the startup menu. We're going to run through some extra steps that you should do first, and then you can actually create your ad in the Google Ads platform. Right now, you're sort of in the setup screen, and it's not a great way to set up your first ad, so just click next. What you can do here is you can add in some suggested keywords. This isn't super important. It just sort of helps Google get to know what your business does a little bit better. So you can just add a few if you want, then hit next here. Then what you're going to do is you're going to select your service area. So for me, I personally advertise nationwide because I help landscapers with their marketing, but you are most likely in a specific area. So what you can do is you could type in, for example, Houston, Texas. You could get rid of the United States, and now you have a very targeted service area. This is where your ads are going to show. You can edit this at any time. Just click through, click next. Now, Google is going to advise you on a budget. Google doesn't know your actual budget. You need to enter your own budget. Now, for now, don't do anything. Put it low. It doesn't matter. We're going to cover it later. This is just the initial setup that Google needs for you to do to actually give you an account. So just go through this process. We're going to confirm everything later. It's going to ask you for a payment method so that you can pay for your ads. Now in this section, I'm going to blur this out because it shows some of my own personal information, but it's going to ask you for your payment method, which is how you're going to pay for the ads. So just go through that process, enter your information, and hit submit, then hit accept and continue. All right, congrats, you're all done. So here you can go explore your campaign, which will bring you to the Google Ads profile. You can skip that stuff for now. Go to all campaigns. And now you're in your account. So we're going to go through how to set up all your actual campaigns. I know it's prompting you to set it up right now. However, it's going to give you some sort of just basic recommendations that aren't personalized to you. So I'm going to lead you through how you can effectively do that without the guidance of Google. One thing that they will do sometimes is they'll give you recommendations that will be profitable for them, but not necessarily profitable for you. Step 2 is understanding your keywords. Keywords are the heart of your Google Ads campaigns, and they are what determines if you are going to be successful or not in this. So understanding your keywords is super important. Now on the right here, as you can see, it says keywords do not equal search terms. This is something that was very confusing for me when I first started, but it's important to understand the difference. Keywords are triggers that you put into your campaign that allow your ads to run when someone searches something similar or exactly equal to your keyword. A search term refers to the actual string or phrase that someone searches. So why this is important is when you're measuring your ads, you may see that a certain keyword is getting a certain amount of results, but then you can actually click through and see the search terms, which is exactly what people are searching for. Big difference here is you are responsible for putting in the keywords. The search terms are what people actually search for. So you can measure both of them, but it's important to know that keywords is what you put into your campaign. Search terms is just the term that someone searches for. So as I said, selecting the right keywords is necessary to a successful ad campaign, and keywords are the triggers for your ads. So you are going to select what search keywords will allow your ad to show. So for example, for your service, landscaping service or lawn care near me might be some keywords that you are going to use. Now, one thing I'm going to show you now is the Google Keyword Planner, and this is how you can see what people are searching for in your area and what keywords you can use. So let's hop back over to the Google Ads interface. Once you're here, you want to go to Planning, and then from there, you want to click Keyword Planner. Now you're going to click Discover New Keywords. What you're going to do is first, you're going to enter in your exact location. So say we're doing Houston, Texas. You're going to remove the United States and you're going to click Save. So that means that you're only targeting people in that area. Now what you're going to do is you're going to put in some possible keywords for you to use. Lawn care. Let's see. So what you see here is the average monthly searches for each keyword. You see the 3-month change and the year-over-year change. So what this means is you're looking for keywords that are going to be searched for on a pretty frequent basis. Then what you're going to do is you're going to compile those keywords into your ads so that you can effectively target those people that are searching for those keywords. So for example, lawn mowing service near me is a great one. Scott's Fertilizer might not be. That's not your brand. At least I'm assuming it's not. And you're not going to want people that are searching for Scott's Fertilizer to trigger your ad. You don't want someone looking for fertilizer to cost you money because you showed them that ad. So a good way to go through this is to find some closely related keywords that have a low bid. So what you can see is you can see how much it costs typically. This is not the end all be all. This is just how much these keywords will typically cost. And you can see which ones you want to use. You can also see your competition. So this is a great tool. So for example, spring lawn care has very low competition, but it only gets 10 to 100 monthly searches. So just keep this in mind as you're going through the ad creation. You just want to select some good keywords for the campaign that you want to create. That's something that we're going to be diving into a little bit further later as we actually create a campaign. So step 3 is to find your budget and your bidding strategy. So first you need to define a budget, and there's actually an equation for this that can help you stay profitable. So first, you actually need to find some information about your business. You need to find your actual profit margin, your average lifetime value, which is the average amount that a customer brings in over the course of their lifetime. So take every dollar that a customer has ever spent with you and divide it by the number of customers. That's your average lifetime value. Then you also need the amount of expected or desired monthly conversions. So this is how many people do you want to purchase from you in a given month, specifically from Google Ads. So then to calculate the maximum that you can pay per customer so that you stay profitable, you need to calculate your profit margin as a percentage multiplied by your average lifetime value. So this is the average profit per customer, and this is the maximum that you can spend per customer to break even. This is not to make a huge profit. This is to break even. So keep that in mind. What you need to do is then you need to multiply that number by your expected or desired monthly conversions. So for an example of this is that if you wanted to get 30 conversions per month and you have a maximum cost per customer, this is the profit per customer, of $120, your monthly budget should be approximately $3.6 thousand. Now that would be to break even, okay? You need to adjust your budget as you see fit. Now, what's going to be important here is you may need to spend more at the very start of a campaign just to get that data so that you can refine your results as you go. What's going to happen is you're going to be gathering data for the initial month, 2, 3 months even, so that you know what works in your campaigns and what needs to change. Then using that data, you can cut down on your spending, put it in places where it's actually working, and then go from there. So you may actually need to spend more upfront. I'm not saying spend over budget, but I'm saying you can easily cut down on your budget as your campaigns grow. If you're using Google Ads properly, they will only get better and become more efficient with time. So keep this in mind. Adjust your budget as you see fit. The equation for budget here is the maximum you can spend while breaking even. So keep that in mind and adjust your budget as you see fit. So then getting into your bidding strategy, this is the way that you choose to allocate your budget to your campaigns. Now, to explain this all in one video, it's not worth doing here. If you are super interested in getting into Google Ads in an expert level, you should check out other videos on my channel. I'm going to be making a whole playlist on Google Ads for service-based businesses. However, for right now, there are a few things that you need to understand. So first, your first campaigns are going to be exploratory. What this means is you're exploring what works and what doesn't work. For the least amount of works, what you should do is you should use an automated bidding strategy called maximize clicks. What this is going to do is this is going to get you the maximum amount of clicks on your ads given the budget that you have set. There's another automated bidding strategy called maximize conversions, which you'll be using later once you have data and once Google has data to work off of. The thing about Google Ads is you need to collect data first. And I've mentioned this before, but I'll say it again, even though it's redundant, it's very important. You need to collect data first with your ads before you make changes. You need to collect data with your ads before you make changes. So maximize clicks really does work pretty well when you're trying to get that data in the door and you're trying to see who's clicking on your ads. So if you're familiar enough with Google Ads, you could try using manual CPC, which is you set the maximum amount that you're willing to pay for any one click. I recommend using maximize clicks. Google will do the work for you in getting people to click on your ads, and overall, it will make your performance better at the start of your ad campaign. As I said, once you have a significant amount of data from your ads, you can consider altering your bid strategy to maximize conversions. What you need to do for this to work is you need to set up conversion tracking. And after this playlist goes live, I'll be posting a full guide on Google Ads that dives into the details of that as well. Conversion tracking is a more complex subject, and you need to have a bit of technical knowledge to do it properly. So if that's something you're interested in, leave a comment down below or check out my channel. There's going to be a playlist going up on Google Ads within the next month or so. So step 4 is creating your first ad. Now, before we do that, I want to talk about Google Ads structure. So as you can see here in this diagram, Google Ads used to be called Google AdWords. So you have your account, and then in your account, you have different campaigns. Now, in each campaign, you have different ad groups. So then in your ad group, you have different keywords, text, and landing pages. So what this means is that your ad group is where you set your budget. You can decide how much you spend per ad group. But what's important to know is that each campaign should be different. Each ad group should have to do with the campaign that it's in, but they should be different as well. And then the keyword and then the other assets that are a part of that ad should match the ad group that they are in. So for example, you may have an ad campaign that is landscaping services in Houston. Then you may have an ad group that is lawn care in Houston. You may have an ad group that is irrigation installation in Houston. These are both landscaping services in Houston, but they are slightly different. So you're going to separate them within that campaign. So once you identify your keywords, it's time to create an ad. Your ad should include an engaging headline, a concise description, and a clear call to action, otherwise known as a CTA. One thing that I do recommend doing is using the Google Ads transparency library to see what other top competitors are doing with their ads and what works. You want to use headlines and descriptions in your ads that are known to work. You don't want to waste a ton of time coming up with fancy headlines that don't actually work, that don't trigger the psychology of a buyer. What you want is you want to see what works and you want to spin it to have your own twist on it. So what you can do is you can use ChatGPT or your own brain to rewrite high-performing ads. One thing to note is something called assets. Assets are any individual aspect of your ad. So a headline is an asset. A phone number that shows up is an asset. A link to your website is an asset. If you choose to use a photo, that is also an asset. One thing I do recommend is using as many assets as possible in a search ad so that you take up more space on the screen when someone sees your ad. If you can take up more space, someone is more likely to stop scrolling and click on you. So first, I'm going to jump over to the Google Ads transparency library so that you can see what I mean by that. And then we're actually going to jump into creating an ad. So once you're in the Google Ads Transparency Center, which is adstransparency.google.com, you're going to want to look up the name of an advertiser that you know is running ads for similar services to you. So we could look up Augusta Lawn Care. Let's see, Hendersonville has 3 ads running. Now what's important to note here is that people who are running ads that have been live for a long time, it likely means that those are effective ads. Ads that aren't profitable are not going to continue to run. So look at the ads that are still running. Makes sense. So mowing and lawn care service, free estimates in 24 hours. Okay, that's pretty easy. Let's go to ChatGPT. And then you're going to say, rewrite this headline for an effective Google Ads campaign. Little too similar for my liking and a little too wordy. So say, make it simple, but keep the original meaning. Just change up the wording. Quick and free estimates for mowing and lawn care services. Okay, there you go. You have a headline. Then you want to go back to this ad. You want to see, okay, professional lawn care and mowing service for Hendersonville area. You can really kind of take that if you want. Professional lawn care and mowing service for your area. Doesn't get simpler than that, but as you can see, this is working. A reputable company has been running this ad for a long time, and seems like it's valid. It's working well for them. It's going to work well for you. So to actually create your ad, you're going to want to go to the Google Ads interface and click New Campaign. From here, you want to select leads because that is the type of person you are looking for. You're not looking for a local store visit. You're not looking for someone to download your app. You're not looking for brand awareness and reach right now. At least I don't think you are. Typically, you need a higher budget for that to be something you're pushing. So leads are the way to go for a lawn care business. Conversion goals, you can use what's already set up in here. We're going to go over conversion tracking in a different video. It gets pretty technical, so I want to dedicate a whole video to that. You're going to hit continue. Select a campaign type. You're going to hit search. Then you're going to hit website visits, phone calls, and lead form submissions. If you'd like, that's going to be an asset that you add to your ad. You're going to add in your business. So I'll add in mine and your phone number. And you're going to name your campaign landscaping services. Continue. What you're going to select your bidding strategy. Now, this is something that I discussed earlier. However, if you're just starting out, I do recommend going for clicks. You can set a maximum cost per click bid limit. However, what I recommend is setting the budget just at the ad set and campaign level, because it'll allow the ads to sort of move freely and allow the machine learning to do the work. What this essentially does is it just puts a cap on how much you can spend, which in the exploratory phase where you're trying to collect data is not really the best practice. What you're going to do now is, instead of having all networks, you're going to say choose networks, and you're going to unselect the display network. Now, I know Google says, oh, I recommend using the display network. However, what we're focusing on right now is people that are showing intent to purchase. And if you're showing ads on the display network, it is not necessarily targeting those people. Then in locations, what you're going to do is you're going to enter your location, and you're going to make sure that you hit presence. In location options, hit presence. These are people that are in your area or regularly in your area. It's going to target people that live in your service area, not people who are interested in your service area. You're going to hit enter another location, and you're going to enter your service area. If you have multiple zip codes or something of the sort, you can add them here. Languages, English. If you have a customer base that speaks something else, maybe Spanish, you can add that in here as well. And then audience segments is something that you're going to cover in a later phase of your ad campaigns when you actually have data to work off of. So I don't recommend using audience segments for now. More settings. I would leave ad rotation as it is. Start and end dates, I would leave as is. End date not set, unless you do have a date that you want the ad to stop running or a day that you want it to start running. Ad schedule, for now, I recommend leaving it at running 24/7. Campaign URL options, leave it as it is. Dynamic search ad settings. You can use this. Essentially what this does is it gives you recommendations for headlines and descriptions. So you can leave that as it is. You're going to hit next. So because you put in your website, it's going to come up with some keywords that it recommends based on what you do. Now, I put in my website, which is a marketing agency, and so it came up with keywords like that. But what we're doing right now is we're doing a landscaping campaign. So you might enter in something like lawn care services, let's see, gardening service, hanging wall installation, irrigation installation, fencing installation, fencing repair near me, irrigation installation near me, fencing installation near me, landscape contractors near me, local landscapers. Now, I'm sort of just going off the cuff right here and putting in some keywords that I've used in the past. However, what I want you guys to do is I want you to select your own keywords based off the keyword planner that I showed you earlier, and make sure that you're using stuff that's relevant to your area and has a high search volume in your area. Make sure that you're targeting keywords that aren't exorbitantly expensive. And if you can target keywords that don't have a lot of competition, do that as well. The keywords that typically do have a lot of search volume are going to have a higher competition. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes it's not avoidable. So coming down this is the section where you're going to build your actual ad. So what you need to do is make sure that you have https://www. in front of your URL. Now, if you want to direct someone to a page other than your home page, this is where you're going to do that. So if you wanted to direct them to the lawn care page, you would type in the URL for the lawn care page. Now, a landing page is super important, but that's, again, not what we're covering in this video. I'm going to cover it at some point in this course. However, for now, you just need to decide where on your website you want people to go and put that in the final URL box here. Display path, that is the URL that's going to show up in the ad. So even if the final URL is different than the display URL, that's okay. I typically don't mess with this. If you want people to call you, you add your phone number, sign in, and hit save and apply. So that is an asset that I just added to my ad. See how it adds a little bit more space on the bottom here? Just adding that space is a big reason to use more assets so that it takes up more space on the screen and people are more likely to click. Now what you're going to do is you're going to use that headline you found with ChatGPT and you're going to put it in here. So copy, paste. Okay, it's far over the character limit. So what do you want to do? Split it up. Quick and free estimates for mowing. Okay, that's still too long. Quick and free mowing estimates. You need to keep it under that 30 mark. Let's see. Lawn care services. Estimates within 24 hours. You can add on some more if you'd like, but for right now, that's going to be what we use for the sake of this video. Then you're going to type in your description. Professional lawn care service serving the Houston area. Pristine end results for an affordable price. These are all things that are going to show up underneath your ad, so make sure that these are good. They should be concise, but they should be to the point and tell your customers about what you're doing. Irrigation and garden box installation. Simple. Make sure you spell it right. Now what you want to do is if you have a business name or a logo that you want to input here, really it's the logo that matters. Hit get access. It's going to ask you to verify. I'm not going to do that right now, but you will need to do your advertiser verification at some point. They just ask for your driver's license, some ID, stuff like that, and that'll allow you to have a few more features. And what you're going to do is you're going to add some site links. So these are different pages on your website that might be useful. So for example, contact page, you would enter in your URL here. About us, you would enter in that URL here. You don't need to do a description. You can if you'd like. Let's see. Contact about us. You could do a prices page if you have one. You could do a blog page if you have one. And so that'll allow people to navigate to those sections of your site more quickly without actually having to go through your homepage. So you can apply those. Callouts, these are essentially like really short descriptions. So you could say free estimates. It's a call out. You're calling out what you're offering. Free estimates. Pro lawn care. Let's see. Expert landscaping. Simple stuff. Just add some more to your ad. Now, one thing I don't want you guys to pay attention to as much is your optimization score. Google really just wants you to put in as many assets as you can, and it'll, based off how unique they are, it'll boost up your optimization score. So it's not super relevant actually, and don't base the strength of your ad based off of what it says up here, because most of the time it's not actually accurate. Then in more asset types, if you have any promotions running, you can add those the same way. If you want to use your prices, you can. I don't really recommend it for landscaping. Lead forms, what you can do is you can create a form for people to fill out. Now, if you already have lead forms on your website, I don't recommend using these. It just kind of complicates the process a little bit. So do as you wish here. And then if you have a location, you can do that as well. Then you're going to hit next, and you are going to decide your budget for this campaign. but make sure that you're using the one that you actually set out for yourself. Google's going to recommend a few recommended budgets. Now, make sure that you're using the budget that you actually recommend. Whatever you come up with on a monthly basis, divide that by 30 for your monthly, for your daily ad spend. And then based off the amount of campaigns that you want to run, divide that by that amount of campaigns, and that'll be the number you can spend on that campaign per day. So for example, let's just say we're spending $10. I'm going to hit next. And now your campaign is ready to publish. So what you can do is you can hit publish campaign and that campaign will go live. I'm not actually looking to publish this right now, so I'm not going to do that, but you can scroll through, make sure that everything is correct and to your liking, and then you can hit publish campaign. So once you've built out the campaigns for the areas that you want to target in your area, so for example, you could do a campaign for irrigation, you could do a campaign for the city that you're in, you could do a campaign for specifically lawn care. What you need to do is you need to pay attention to these key metrics. So CTR is your click-through rate. This is the amount of people that are clicking on your ad based off of how many people are seeing your ad. So it'll show up as a percentage. You want to focus on the amount of clicks that you're getting per day. You want to focus on the cost of each click and make sure that it's not too high. You want to see how many conversions you're getting. And this is something that you can do with conversion tracking, which I'll cover in a different video. You want to look at your conversion rate and your cost per conversion. Now, this is going to take time. It takes roughly about 2 weeks for your first campaign to actually get up to speed with what it's doing. Now you need to let that campaign run for at least a month, at least 30 days. It takes patience, but you need to let your campaign gather data so that you know what to change. So impressions don't matter. Now, I know that's a big statement. However, impressions do not matter because what you're focusing on is conversions. You could have 10,000 impressions, people seeing your ads, but if you have a conversion rate of 0.001%, does it matter how many impressions you're getting? No, it doesn't. You need to pay attention to how many clicks you're getting, how many clicks are transferring to conversions, and then how many conversions are actually coming through your system and you are actually closing. That's what you need to pay attention to. You don't need to pay attention to your impressions. One thing that I would say is aim to beat a 5% click-through rate. If you can do more than that, that's better. I typically like to be above 10%, but if you're above 5, you're doing okay. Now, step 6 is to optimize. As I said, you need to let your campaigns run for at least 2 weeks. At least. Really, it should be a month, month and a half, maybe even 2 months. You need to gather data. So once you have that data, analyze it, see what is performing well, see what isn't performing well. Emphasize the aspects that are performing well and eliminate the underperforming aspects. So it makes sense to start with many campaigns and eventually just have a few. What's going to happen is you're going to start out with a lot of stuff that's going on. You're going to be putting in a lot of ad spend, a lot of campaigns that are gathering data. And then based off that, you can see what's working and what's not. You can cut out the underperforming aspects so that you can also cut down on your ad spend and you can increase your ad spend in the areas that are working as well. So one thing that you can do to make sure that you are getting good data is you can A/B test. What you need to do with A/B testing is you need to duplicate a campaign and change one aspect of it. If you think that the headline is the reason that a campaign isn't performing, create a new ad, change the headline and nothing else, so that that is the independent variable. It's the only thing that's changing. Think about science class in middle school. Change the independent variable, which should be one thing, as I said, and see how those results stack up against each other. If you see a significant change, you now know what the issue was. You can move forward with that and make sure that you're emphasizing the parts of your ads that are working well and taking out the aspects of your ads that aren't working well. So to summarize, first you create your account, then you do your keyword research, figure out what keywords you want to use for what campaigns. Then you need to find your budget and bidding strategy. Once you've done that, you can find effective ad copy and put it into your own ads. So this is what I showed you using ChatGPT and the Ads Transparency Center. Then you want to let your ads run for about 2 weeks. You want to measure their performance after that time period. Really, I would recommend a month and a half. And then based off that, you want to optimize. There's a lot more details here that I did not go into, given that this is a basic video strategy course on Google Ads for landscaping. I didn't want to get too nitty gritty on the details, but I will be covering it in a different playlist if that is something that you guys would like. So anyway, for now, that's all I have to offer. If you have questions, feel free to drop them in the comment section below. I know I didn't cover everything, but that's all I have for you today. So next class, we're going to be covering Facebook ads, which is going to include the targeting of your audience, the creation of those campaigns, how to create visuals, and much more. So anyway, if you guys found this helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. It makes a huge difference on my end, and it makes it possible for me to continue bringing educational content to the table, showing you guys how you can get more clients, more leads as a landscaping business. Anyway, I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one.